What's up YouTube? How are you doing today? Chana D, your Techno Dad here. And in today's video, I got something really quick. We are going to set up 4K HDR for the Sony A8H. Now, of course, this is going to apply to all 2020 Sony TVs. So if you have the X900H or the X950H or the 830 or the 850 or the 800, I don't even know. There's so many. But anyway, if it has an H at the end, this should work out. If you bought it in 2020, this should work exactly how it's supposed to. I will be using the Xbox One X to show you and demonstrate, but this is good for the Xbox One X, the Xbox Series X, the PlayStation 4 Pro, PlayStation 5, Roku Ultra, you know, anything like an Apple TV 4K, NVIDIA Shield that's 4K that has HDR and Dolby Vision, all that kind of stuff, 4K Blu-ray player, and basically just any external source that is 4K and HDR. You're going to want to do these steps on the specific HDMI port that you have that device plugged in. Now, of course, if you have an AV receiver, you're just going to plug it into HDMI 3 because that's the one with ARC, eARC, and you just need to change that one. But, you know, if this is going into a bedroom or a place where there isn't an AV receiver, for me, that's our bedroom, so this is going to go there for a little while, and I'll need to have two ports set up for 4K HDR, as I have the Xbox One X, Apple TV 4K, and then just the standard, you know, DirecTV cable boxes there, so I won't have to change HDMI 1, but I'll change HDMI 2 and 3 to enhanced. All right, so let's get into why I'm using the Xbox One X. It's because they have this 4K details screen that is just awesome, and it just gets the job done. It tells you what's not working, and then when you change the settings, it tells you exactly what's working. So usually we'll get green check marks. That's what we want. So let's jump into the Xbox One X settings so we can show you how to do this. All right, so we go into the settings for the Xbox, and then we need to go to display and sound. I believe that's under general. Then click on 4K details, and you can see here we have a couple of check marks, but we have a lot of other error messages. Now, of course, a perfect screen would look like all green check marks, so that's what we're gonna do. So let's press the cog button on the Sony remote control, press left, select settings. Now, all we need to do is get into this first option. It's called watching TV, so select that. Now we need to scroll down to external inputs, select that one. And now at the very bottom, we've got HDMI signal format. That's the one we want. So scroll down and press the button. Now here is where we need to change HDMI inputs. Specifically, we're going to go to HDMI 2, which is the input that the Xbox One X is using right now. Click on it, and we need to change it from standard format to enhanced format. All right, now let's do the same for HDMI 3 because I will be testing out and setting up eARC in another video to show you guys how. All right, so now that both of those are changed, let's exit out of all this and go back to the Xbox One X settings and going into 4K TV details. And now look at this, we've got green check marks all around, and this is exactly what we want. So now the TV is set up for 4K HDR, any kind of 4K HDR external source. Again, the list is not that long, but you guys know what it is. 4K player, 4K streaming device, any kind of 4K gaming console, including the new Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. All right, so let's jump into Call of Duty to see if HDR is actually activated and on. Now, one of the things I don't like about Sony is they don't tell you when the content is in HDR. You have to look inside settings to see if it is. So we got to press the cog button and go to the picture settings. And there it is, HDR in the top right here. And I know it's kind of lame that they do this like all the other TVs, pretty much all the other TVs. Well, except for Samsung, I think they don't tell you like when it's in HDR, but at least with Samsung, you press one button and then you can see it. Whereas Sony, you kind of have to press the button a few times and go into the menu. It's a pain in the butt. A lot of the other manufacturers, TCL, Vizio, LG, they just kind of tell you, like they put a little flag up there, you know, HDR or Dolby Vision or whatever the case is. Pretty easy, right? If you have any of these new Sony TVs from 2020, and I think the other ones, the like directions are not that different for 2019 as well. So if you have any external sources that are 4K HDR, like the ones I listed previously in the video, definitely do this so you can get 4K HDR running optimally on your TV. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you liked it, go ahead, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel using the button in the middle of your screen. Once again, my name is Chana D. I'm your Techno Dad, and I'll see you next time.